Oops. Leave it to me. I misspell. Oh, well. I am just uh, popping in. It's been a long time. It's been a long year. I had a couple surgeries, had to get over that, and then I had to get the house, and then there was harvest season. You know how it goes. So it's good to be here. And I'm not sure that I can pre schedule my lives. I'm going to have to give it, I'm just getting back in the saddle. And it seems like every week, all the platforms change their settings and different things. So I'm not sure I can pre schedule. But from now on, I hope to pop in and answer any questions that you have. It's good to see you, Raven, and BH Charles. And Edith, great to see you. Glad you're here. Are there any questions about any of the news, or you want to pick my brain or have a topic that's on your mind? Good morning, or well, good afternoon, Gail. Well, it might be morning where you are. I don't know. It's nice to see you. It's nice to be back. I am doing shorts. If you haven't checked out the shorts, I am doing shorts now. I will be doing live streams, hopefully, like once a week or so. And you can always visit me at celestialreport.com to see what other things I'm up to. Lots of research, tons of news, especially in the food department. It seems like there's a deluge of things that are changing on that front. So it does look like food, but it isn't necessarily food. Hi, Nick. I hope you're doing well today. So, does anybody have any questions, or this might be a short Q&A? Yeah, I'm glad, Gail, that you got the notice. I think now that I'm back in the saddle, um, so Extraordinary wants to know, can you speak on the fake snow that we all saw again last year? So they have, like I did at the beginning of 2025, seems like so long ago, but we are almost entering 2026. There is a whole new geoengineering project. You could read my articles. I have shorter articles for the public that are free at celestialreport.com, or you can become a subscriber. You can get all the details. And believe me, I go into the details as well as the solutions and what you can do about it. These are things that nobody has talked about, like powder or ash. And actually, that's foretold in the Bible that that was going to happen. And the changes in barometric pressure. Um, so this snow is a polymer, and they're trying to, much as the World Economic Forum and the United Nations and all of the globalists, they they talk about hating plastic and they're going to clean up the planet. Meanwhile, they're trying to plasticize all of us. It doesn't matter if you're a microbe, a plant, an animal, or a person, they're trying to plastic you. And so it's the same with the snow and the weather. Our atmosphere is really changing. I think the weather modification and barometric pressure, I think that was like a 5-part series. It is up on celestialreport.com. And so we'll continue to see that as time goes on. They're not going to back off. Hi, Jackie in the UK. Nice to see you. Let's see. Question. Um, I'm sorry, Raven. There are certain things that I cannot talk about on this platform. I can talk about elsewhere, but I cannot talk about on this platform. I need to respect their rules. Just like if I went to your house, I would respect the rules of your home when I was visiting. So, unfortunately, that's where we're at. So it's not that I'm dodging the question, not that I don't have answers, but I just can't talk about it on this particular platform. Um, Nick, would you concur that we are living in the end times? Absolutely. There is no doubt about it in my mind. Let's see. Edith is saying the president said the U.S. not participating in the agenda, yet I see moving forward here, like all get out with the food, for example, e-commerce. Yes, I do see the same pretty much. I will say, um, the Lord God is in charge of everything. And even when it's evil or it seems to be evil, it's a part of His plan. Sometimes to get people to confess to things that they're doing wrong, other times it's a judgment because we're not taking action. So there's many different reasons. So, but yeah, it's I feel the same. I mean, you can look at some very good things happening in the United States right now and some very troubling things happening in the United States right now. Um, Bo, thanks so much for your wisdom from your heart. We appreciate you always, and I appreciate each one of you. I thank you for following my work. I thank you for your prayers. For those of you that can contribute to me financially, you can do that over at Celestial Report. YouTube doesn't allow me to monetize like other channels, if you know what I mean. But that's okay. I'm here to share truth. And I think one of the things that I have to offer is truth and kind of going where no person goes, that you usually haven't heard of these topics that I cover. But also, I try and do it in a commercial free zone so that, there's some channels that I'll watch for a few moments and it's like you get like, I don't know, 5 minutes of content for 20 minutes of commercial. So, anyway, you don't get that here on the Celestial Report. So, let's see. John 14:6 says, as 2025 is ending, what was up with the Deagle report? So, have you ever thought that just maybe 2025 was successful in pretty much eradicating original design, except I do believe that we can pray it out, but many of us have been deluged by things that never were designed to be in a part of us. We maybe didn't know. Maybe it was in our vitamins. Maybe it was in our food. Maybe it was in our water. Maybe it was in our air. Um, so I think, in a way, um, was it depopulation, as in, I don't want to use the word because I don't, I guess, just get back to the saddle here and get a strike. So, where we, you know, or is it just that we have become hybrid and no longer are pure in that sense, or it's getting more difficult to remain like original design people throughout history? Okay, let's see. Um, Dane Wigington about geoengineering. I'm not following Dane Wigington. I mean, he's got the same old spiel that he's done for quite some time. The information that's at Celestial Report you have never seen anywhere. And I got this information from the government and the military. And so, if you want to check it out, I would highly suggest you do. Heavy metals, yes, there's heavy metals. We know about the heavy metals, but there are so many other things now. And especially if you live in wildfire zones, I talk about the wildfire zones and what all the things are in it. We think it's just smoke, it's not. So I go into that. And again, what are the solutions? I don't want to just dump you with a lot of problems and let it be a real bummer and have you really downcast that there's no hope, that all is lost. I'm here to just point out so that you're aware of the new technologies coming out. And then, some I do have solutions for, and some, are so new that I'm just trying to figure them out, and I will bring them to you as I discover the solutions. Let's see. Let me go down. Extraordinary. Do you believe addiction and dependency is significant? People are trying to heal their frequencies after their body becomes impure, sort of an unknown act of desperation. I think that actually that the way we were created, the earth has a frequency. It's the Schumann resonance. That's why when you kick your shoes off and you in the summertime, I wouldn't advise it right now because it's like close to below, well, I guess it's 12 here now, but it's supposed to be below zero tonight, and there's no grass anyways, but you put your feet and toes in the grass and you just feel at peace. You just relax into it. Or you get to the beach and you kick off your flip flops and you just feel at peace. I think we were built, and that's why we gravitate. And I'm doing this whole series. Believe me, I am pretty busy when I'm not on the air, and I've been getting back to work lining up these shorts about how did the ancients, um, what about the pyramids? What about the world's fairs? What about Gobekli Tepe? I'm going to be talking about these ancient sites and ancient technologies. And I do believe that ancient man knew more than we think. We think of him as primitive man, but he wasn't primitive. And so I'm going to be working on that and showing you. So I think it's just modern man finally catching up with ancient man. Okay, let's see. Um, LJ, no one has talked about Donald Trump being the chair for the Board of Peace at the United Nations. I read the something daily report at Dinar Chronicles. Yeah, I just saw it. There's two things that I don't go into too much because my niche is government, military, medical, DIY solutions. And some of that is intense, very deep studying and research. So I don't do too much in politics, and I don't do too much in money. There are people that are very good about follow the money. They're excellent. And there's some people that are very good at predictive programming. It's just, I only have so many hours in the day because I do live a very basic lifestyle. So that's what, you know, I just told you what I kind of focus on. Not that I don't cover other things. I'm getting into the archaeology and the astronomy. I'm going into the first thing I learned about nanoparticles is it reverses the spin of the atom and our magnetism in our body. And what does that mean? And did the ancients know about it? And so this has been really interesting deep dive. And I've learned that 18-part webinars are not the way to do it. So anyway, I'm just doing little short ones. Hi, Cerula. Nice to see you. Glad you could make it. I didn't know if I couldn't pre-schedule this, or I haven't figured it out. YouTube changes all the time. Charles, B.H. Charles has said, where are we headed with the Civil War or revolution? I believe there is. I'm girding my loins and girding my household for that, but it would be not wise to tell you how I'm doing that. But yes, I do believe that's in our future. I think it's just going to intensify. A lot of it, this is a normal cycle. This is where we're at in the history of the 25,000 year precessional cycle. It's where we are in the 6,000 year cycle, where we are with the magnetosphere, the sun with all of its flares coming at us. So that is, I actually did an article. It is at Celestial Report about red skies and revolution. So if you're interested in that, it is a free article. Feel free to check that out. Let's see. Did any of you, I'm just interested, did any of you see the aurora on the 11th? It was incredible here. If I was on my phone, I would show you pictures. It was absolutely amazing. It was all the colors in the rainbow. It pulsed for a time at 3 o'clock in the morning, like my heartbeat. Like my heart was literally synchronizing with the pulsating in the sky. And then there were flashes and um, pillars, white pillars in amongst the other. And it was like there were this in a picture before, but it looked like moonbeams, but through the color, or sunbeams, if let's say you were in a forest, but it was in the sky and it was coming through the color. It was absolutely incredible. Let's see. Maybe I missed a few. Let's see. I'm down to high concrete forest. I missed your comment. Sorry. Walking in the wilderness. Last year, you brought forward the plans to take children. What was that about? Is that still coming? And what info do you have? Well, I have really haven't been focusing on kids this year because I've been doing a lot with food and science and technology and getting my house in order this year. So I've not done too much on the children. Do I believe that the United Nations um, generational curse is having an effect? Absolutely. I absolutely do. And I have talked about that in my community, both on Telegram and other places. Let's see. Well, I'm glad your concrete forest. I'm glad your husband brought my page to your attention. Yeah, I'm surprised. I was so excited to, well, not excited. That was not the word for it. Actually, I had a friend visiting the Utah National Park, and she said there's all these tardigrades, and anybody in my community knows I've been talking about tardigrades for years and how they were using them in synthetic biology. And so I looked it up, and I found thousands and thousands of different tardigrade projects, or commercial projects. You could build tardigrades. You could do all sorts of stuff. Grow your own tardigrades, kind of like when I was young. You could grow brine shrimp. So it's I was horrified because basically what I see is that it's normalizing, but they're not telling you that they're synthetic, uh, mixing humans with the tardigrades for the purpose that you will not take the resources from the planet. So the whole take nothing from nature mandate by the United Nations is very much moving forward. And part of that was the tardigrades, but people don't seem to be that interested. So if you have friends or family, please share the tardigrade video, because it really does make a difference for the algorithm whether people see it or don't see it. And you know me, with the information that I cover, I'm pretty much covered, if you know what I mean, quite a bit. So let's see. Orbiting Fly, hi. Nice to have you with us. Let's see. Gail Collins, what do you think will be next on the chopping block? Oof. What I'm seeing right now is food. Now you got to understand, December can go one of two ways in the areas that I cover. It can either be really busy or it can go dark because it's the holidays, for any time from Thanksgiving to January 1st. And then everybody's like buzzing like little bees. Like right now, there are a couple DARPA things going on, no new projects. There's like a webinar and there's a liftoff. Um, but everybody's pretty quiet, and many of the government and military sources are going dark. So it's kind of, and now I'm not sure, is it just because of the government shutdown and then it's the holiday season? I'm not sure. Time will tell. But I can tell you that January, I think it's going to be pretty exciting. Um, let's see, extraordinary. Do you know about the lighter and cracky gardening methods for low tech, no tech gardening? Why? I do back breaking. I use my arms and I have a hoe and I just do, I don't do any tech gardening. I keep my garden far, far from tech. And I even put greenhouses up this year so that stuff from the sky wasn't falling on my plants. Okay, Lolly Bee, Lovely Bee. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. The tardigrades look like original puffy animal crackers. Yes, they do. And actually, when we do dog training, I put it in a Kong with yogurt at the animal crackers, a few animal crackers, and Miss Zippy absolutely loves loves them, but they're not tardigrades. But if you did notice, there were tardigrade cookie cutters. I can tell you, I am not buying anyone on my list any tardigrade materials or products, nothing like that, because I just really do believe it's normalizing them so that oh, so what, and then it'll be. Remember in 2019, for those of you that have been following me that long, the UN wanted to sell food by the 1,000th of a calorie, and DARPA wanted to sell food by the molecule. And I think what we will definitely be seeing in 2026 is the furthering of that agenda, if not accomplishing that. Much of what you consider food, I hope you all checked out my 3D um, printed meat. And I know many of you, I'm experimenting with these shorts. So I do have, you wanted more information. And so by popular demand, in less than a week, you're going to have a 3D meat boot camp. So it'll be a short, but I will give you all the information that you need to know about 3D printed meat. So let's see. Edith Kinsey would like to learn about nanoparticles changing the spin and potential effects on the body. Checks out some of my recent shorts, and I am doing more of them. And some of them are going to be posted this week. I do them, and then about a week ahead, and then they're posted one a day. So, and then maybe sometime we can do a live stream about talking about it. But I want you to get the basics in short little bits so that I'm not deluging you um, with technology to make your head spin. So that's the way my plan is to just give it to you little bit by bit, and then we'll talk about it in context. Let's see. Concrete forest. It's always better to learn how to live better and better. Yes, I agree. Um, I have already ordered all my heirloom seeds for next year, and I found all but maybe five. Oh, I wonder where that bag went in the fray of everything. I have one bag of the hard to find ones. Believe it or not, many seeds come from Russia, and with the tariffs and everything, they're not coming. So if you and you, they're not. They don't say Russian seeds, but when I did my homework, because I have my favorites that grow good in northern climates, um, I found out that they were Russian seeds. Believe it or not. I mean, it just goes to show you can learn something even decades later. Let's see. Lullaby could bury tiny black specks in the urine be nanobots. I would think I probably better not to respect community standards. I don't want to get myself into trouble. So anybody, please don't ask me medical stuff or that type of stuff, because there are very strict standards, and I respect it. I'm in this platform's home, and I have to respect that. There are other platforms I talk about these things. CelestialReport.com. Let's see. Lullaby, do they still plan to turn on frequency to make us bleed and call it? Yes, they do. Yeah. Clownfish, nice to have you with us in the house. You said something big will happen in 25. The day, will the day come this month? Well, we're really in the countdown for this huge solar flare, potential solar flare. These sunspots are huge. They're bigger than the Carrington event. Given the technology of today, I mean, we were just on the hairy edge on November 11th of being back to the Stone Age. So I am carefully watching the sun every day. And I'm giving lots of alerts on Telegram. If I see something, I pass it along. Of course, it takes me all day to go through all the platforms. So that's the one that I can just really quickly get something out. Um, so keep an eye on the sun for for a little while yet. We're still in the active session um, for the sun before it goes quiet. Let's see. Clownfish. I reckon a lot of these fast food places are serving human meat without our knowledge. I don't know that it's not human meat anymore. It's 3D printed or it's cell cultured. And I haven't done a short yet on cell cultured. I plan on filming that next week. So, or like maybe this weekend, but it will be put up next week. So watch out for that. It's not human anymore. They really want us completely synthetic. They don't want you to have the calories, they don't want you to have the nutrition. That's just the way that it is. Let's see. That's my opinion on the matter anyway. Is 2030 clownfish 2030 is pretty much the end game. It depends. There's a lot of different end games, like the whole pole shift and um, kill shot timeline might just be moving up a little bit. So we have to keep an eye on that. There's the whole UN thing. They're going strong, but a lot of it's behind closed doors so that they're putting all the individual building blocks together, and then all of a sudden one day we'll wake up and it'll be before us. So it depends on which timeline and what the end game that you're looking at. Okay, lullaby. I think about the nanobite in the or the nanobot in the shampoo, especially when I get it in my eyes. Yeah, yeah. But at least it's outside of you. You go wash it off. Um, it's the stuff that gets inside of you that I don't really like. Let's see, Edith Kinsey. These people are just scary. I hope they eat it. Well, they're not going to eat the kilocalorie. Sorry, they've got their own food supply. Why do you think they have those seed banks and they have their own farms and they have access to things that we just don't? And we just have to be at peace and do the best that we can and do it with joy and love and reach out to other people. And I don't know what your calling is. We all have one. And whether it's to be a good mom or dad, whether it's to serve the Lord as a missionary, whether it's as a baker, a songwriter, um, whatever it is, do it and just do it passionately because none of us is granted an eternity. So um, and the same with us. We live in interesting times, and lots of people throughout many different religions and cultures long to see the days and live in the days that we're living. So we should be aware, we should not fear, we should reach out, we should still be human and reach out and be kind and touch lives, however that, whatever that is to you. And and that's the best we can do at the very end. So let's see. Um, concrete floors. A lot of people are suffering on the physical. Are you noticing that where you are too? Yes. I just had total knee replacement and it went south. And so I'll tell you a little bit of encouragement. So I'm not going to tell you all the gory details you wouldn't want to know, but it's been 6 months, and I have to choose every day to get up and to take that first step. It's not easy. It's not my lifestyle. I'm super active. I've been super energetic. And this whole physical affliction, suffering is not something that I mean, short bursts, we all have something. We get a cold or whatever. But where you have to make a decision of faith and purpose and determination, I am going to live over whatever trial or affliction I have. And that might be mental, it might be physical, it might be your family, it might be economics, it might be your living situation. We all have something in our life that's disturbing or troubling, and we all have to take that first step every day and just keep going and do it with a smile on your face. And there's nothing worse than seeing these people with the sour faces. I mean, I when I'm talking about some of this technology, I'm not smiling super cheerfully, but I'm doing it from a place of peace because, yes, I have to go to dark places to cover the content that I do, but I can't tell you how many people say, you you present it, but you're not all hysterical. It's the end of the world. It's doom and gloom, and this is how you have to live. Like with this, you're stuck in a dark hole. That's not what I want to give to each of you. That's not the content. Yes, I want you aware, but I don't want you to be fearful. I want you to think that, know in your heart that we can live above this. So, orbiting fly, I probably missed. Oh, let me go to the one up above, or I'll get lost. Gail Collins, should I purchase silver or seeds? I would say seeds. Seeds are like gold to me. I mean, literally, seeds are like gold to me. Some seed, if it's one seed drops, I pick it up and I save it because the day is coming because I do have heirloom seeds. That said, silver, you there's have a little bit of silver, so it's antimicrobial. Let's see, I missed one. Sorry about that. Let's see, orbiting fly. It's hard to know how to survive in the suburb and cities setting. I would say for your first homework assignment, get a field book, a field guide of weeds that grow in your area that are edible, like dandelions. You would be amazed, even in a city, how many plants grow in a vacant lot or whatever. The one thing you don't want to make sure of is that kind of do your homework, check it out, make sure it's not sprayed or, that it's right next to the road where all the exhaust from the cars. But other than that, you can find things growing up in this under, on the side of the sidewalks and different things. It's amazing. And you can use it for food and other things as well. Let's see. Um, Extraordinary. Do you know anything about better source nutrition being added to expensive mainstream junk food and less effective nutrition in the main? I think that all food is going to the 1/1000 or the kilocalorie or the molecule, and that we have to buy expensive supplements at $2 to $3 to $5,000 a month to keep us alive, or pharmaceuticals. So that's just where I believe is that they're stripping everything out of the food. It's completely synthetic, and we have to get our nutrition, fiber, other things elsewhere. Yes, I orbiting fly. I did miss your question. I'm sorry. So I don't see it. I'll be looking for it, but I might miss it again. We'll see. I'm not very good about this. Let's see. If you put a question mark before your question, then I can um, catch it faster. Let's see. Stevie, glad to have you here. Um, your only sibling, she has vascular dementia. I also have a sister like that as well. So I can feel your pain. And so, yeah, we can pray for them. And, you know, maybe in a way it's a blessing. They don't know what's going on in the world. Uh, Le- Leon, Leon, are we literally all connected to the internet of bodies? Why, Ben? Unless we take extraordinary efforts to be otherwise, yes. Um, we've got, I pray the technology out, plus I really grow my own food and do what I can. Nevertheless, there's still some stuff that gets in there. I really do believe that we can pray the technology out. So I hope you catch my some of my coverage on that. Clownfish. I live in a city of 250,000 people, not as bad as living in the city. New York does 10 million. I live in a city with 44 people. So that's where I live. Tracy Conley, growing food is important and you got to get clean water and soil. Dandelions are good for you. Absolutely. The old timers, the pioneers in the spring, especially, they would make a spring tonic. They would call it the bitters. And you know how you eat heavier in the winter time, and that cleans all of that out of your body, kind of the sludge that from sitting around and eating heavy, and the dandelions kind of clean it up. And oh, I can tell you, dandelion fritters with maple syrup. Oh, yum! They are so good. Uh, so I just the green is a bit bitter, but the yellow, like the yellow part, is not. So that's the part that you want to use for your fritters. Let's see. Okay, clownfish. So Celeste, when you say about a kilocalorie, does that mean that the human 2.0 won't have to consume anymore as we will be robots transhuman? Well, that's the process. So we go from original design to hybrids, and right now they're like tweaking us and genetically modifying us with tardigrades. And tardigrades don't they can live in extreme temperatures. They don't need to breathe air. They don't need water, and they don't need food. So, and then the end goal is yes, they want nothing. The tardigrades are synthetic biology as well, not the original, but these ones are. So then the original were all cavitated out and stuffed with soft robotics, with the eventuality of just being a shell or a garment for a robotic, a disembodied spirit, or something else that is not carbon. They're very much on target with their anti carbon and climate change agenda. So just know that even though it's quiet, you don't hear much about it, they're very much on target. Let's see. I'm looking for question marks. Okay, orbiting fly. I was asking if you see transhumanism take hold and what would give it away to a person. I think the easiest way is to look into the person's eye. I mean, discernment. I mean, they say that the eyes are the windows of the soul. I think that you can see somebody that's alive or somebody now, the case could be made, is that person depressed or whatever, but I think you would get a sense, is this person even human? And, we've all had those questions. Have I met such a person? Yes, I have. And it took me back. Actually, it was a person, and it was a young man. He put his hand out, and I was looking at the ground. I don't know what I was doing, but he had reached out his hand. I reached out. I looked up and I went, oh my gosh, this is what they're talking about. I mean, I knew here, but I had never come to face. But with 2020 and everything, it's much more common than will be more common. So let's see. Yes, Tracy Conley, pray over our food. Yes, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. Absolutely. Um, create concrete forests. I don't know why you create the people that are trying to create a tardigrade. It's engineer a tardigrade, not create. Only God can create. The original tardigrade was a creation, but this is a synthetic creature, and so it's an engineered tardigrade. Would actually end up. I see what you mean. Do unto others as you want others done to you. I see. So Gail. So the bees, my first couple of years in North Dakota, I did not see very many bees. But as my garden grew, and of course it's all organic, and I don't use sprays or anything, lots of bees, lots of bugs, lots of snakes. The only thing, I used to have salamanders. I don't have salamanders right now, but well, nothing's out there right now. It's too cold. But um, so I'm not having, I know other people are really noticing that. And believe me, we live in bug alleys. So the bug splats on my car are disgusting. Well, not right now because there are no bugs alive right now. But next year they'll be back. The year before last, I actually had a swarm of scarab beetles come in after a tornado, and they literally ate my whole garden. Hence the greenhouses. They literally ate everything overnight, and I was a week from harvesting grapes. I was just traumatized. I mean, they ate everything. They ate the kale. They ate everything that was above ground, not below ground. So let's see. Extraordinary one. I wouldn't. I'd be. Yeah. I can't talk about that topic. Let's see. Tracy. Oh, thank you for following me for years. Yeah, I know it's sad and dystopian, but at least you know that what's coming. Um, Everything traumatic. So I don't have that particular, but I have something that's like that called a beamer, and that's all I'll say. And so yes, it's even Mississippi loves it. If I'm laying on the mat, she'll come and lay and drape herself over. That's what Mississippi is, my golden retriever. So orbiting fly. I'm wondering what the number one food to avoid is. Well, if you would have asked me a month ago, I don't know what I would have said, but now you're really watch that 3D printed meat and watch my coverage because I am doing the boot camp and I did another one on the 3D printed meat. Plus, we have to worry about be concerned, not worry, of the cell cultured meat. So that's my number one right now because I need my protein, and we are very much protein. So I eat protein and vegetables. I have a keto diet. Orbiting fly, wondering if they are melting bodies to add to the water. Um, yes, they are, and probably more states now. It started in Washington State, where they're doing it not only to the water, but they're spraying those on the crops. And I hope you all checked out my tongues of the amoeba. That's pretty creepy too. Um, let's see. Question from Light Speed Entertainment. Wouldn't it be toxic to eat the weeds, flowers outside because of the toxic environment? Believe it or not, weeds are very hardy, and they have a propensity to suck up the nutrients out of the earth and dispose of the chemicals. That's why, even these people that spray, they still get the weeds. They're pretty tenacious and resilient. So no, I'm not as worried about the weeds. Weeds weeds are a last stand for many of us. Okay, Jackie Park. About 4 years or more, I noticed my hair, if I held in separate strands, acted. Oh no, the the thing went down. Hold on. Let's see. Acted like an antenna from left to right. Well, it could be Wi-Fi. It could be the stuff that's going on in the atmosphere. It could be magnetic fields. It could be what's in your shampoo. It's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. Those are the things that I would think about. Let's see. Yes, I'm a Christian and clownfish. Yes, I'm a Christian. I do look at some religious books, but I don't deep dive into them. Right now, I'm doing, if you've noticed, a little bit on the Bible. Oh, well, if you haven't checked out Celestial Report, quantum physics in the Bible. Where is quantum physics in the Bible? So, it's been slammed the last couple weeks, but you might want to check it out. They are free articles, so I think you'd find them interesting. I was fascinated but does it surprise you that the God that created mathematics and shapes and physics and everything would not be involved with quantum physics in the Bible? We just don't put that hat on when we're studying the Bible. Let's see. Nice to see everybody. Some of you I've commented, and some of your comments I've missed. I'm sorry about that. This is my first live stream, and wow, I don't even know. Maybe it's been all year because I was preparing for surgery and getting over the surgery and getting my house in order. So glad to be back. So if I'm a little bit like, I'll be sharper the next time. And then it is post, I still have the turkey hangover that many of you may have. Um, let's see. I'm the orbiting fly. I'm glad you get your protein, although it is going to be very much your plant-based diets are very much. I'm going to be covering a lot more on that. Like I said, I've got a lot on my. I have this like calendar of stuff, and there's a lot that they're doing to the plants to ensure that you don't get the protein. So we're all going to have to check labels. The best strategy I found is to grow it yourself. Because even if you asked in the old days, if you asked a farmer or a rancher or a plant nursery, what's the origin of your plants, how are they growing, and all that, they would be able to tell you. But these days they don't. They are very much bought into the system. So I don't think, and many of them, if you probably know more about the technology going into your food than the farmers and ranchers and plant nurseries. So I'm just telling you, that's why I do what I do, not because I have nothing better to do, but it also keeps you. I do it for beauty. I do it for the nutrition. I do it for exercise. There's a lot of reasons that I do it. So anyway, hi, Alan Rush. Glad you're here. And the copy gal, hi Celeste, I joined late. I see your team dog treats behind you. I have my new puppy? If so, how's it going? And did he get along with the golden? I had to put the puppy because I had total knee replacement that went sideways. I had one all ready to come, and after surgery, it was not good. And I didn't even know. I had to have that tearful talk and say, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to really walk. At that point, I was still on crutches. So um, it's not easy, but I we have begun talking again. I've been talking with Mike Ritland, and in the meantime, Miss Zippy gets her team dog food and dog treats, which is absolutely wonderful. And I got to do a shameless plug for Mike that if you have a dog that has allergies or is sensitive to things, that he has a Marine. It's the Team Dog Elite, and what that does is gets rid of the hot spots and all of that. It is very, and their coats, oh, Miss Zippy's coat is just as shiny as could be. So lots of good nutrition. Mike knows his stuff. He does a quality product. So anyway, I have to wait for my, I'm waiting impatiently for news about a new dog, and then it still has to get trained before it comes to me, and then I'll get the dog. So anyway, so that's the dog update. Okay, orbiting fly. What is the best advice for avoiding shedding in the city? Oh, I just did. If you go over, I can't talk about it on this platform, but if you go over to my public Telegram channel, Celeste Solum official channel on Telegram, I just talked about that just a couple days ago. So you won't have to scroll very far, and you'll see what I had to say about that topic. uh, Berta Bear just attended a Greek Orthodox service in Athens. Very lovely. Yes, I had a pastor that ended up turning Greek Orthodox, and so I went to visit a few times. I did like the liturgy. Um, it just wasn't for me, but it was beautiful, and I really appreciated the service and loved it. And I'm sure, if you were in Athens or another place, it would be absolutely wonderful. That's what I miss, is being able to travel. I'm a travel girl, and I won't, I don't think I'll be traveling again because of all the restrictions. If you know what I mean. It's going to be hard enough for me to like figure out what to do about the driver's license thing, um, because they're putting all sorts of holography and crypto stuff in our driver's license. That, whew, and now that's one that I haven't got a sort like solution for yet, but I'm working on it, figuring out what we can do about this. And this is way beyond real ID. This is like way beyond real ID. So, okay, I noticed in the food in Greece is not good. Grapes have no juice. Persimmon's hard. Well, don't forget the things that they're doing to the environment and the weather is global. And I don't know if you missed my coverage, but on July 4th, um, remember the Air Force document owning the weather by 2025? Well, on July 4th, they finally turned over the atmosphere to artificial intelligence. And that's why one reason you need to see my weather modification coverage over at Celestial Report. And what was happening that week? Those big floods in Texas that killed all those people, and then also the big dragon fire at the Grand Canyon. So both of those, the very day that they turned the weather over to AI, happened. So you just have to think, you know, you just have to think about that. And so I think that that's part of it. Probably chemicals have a little bit to do with it as well. Yeah, the food isn't as good anywhere. Yes, Edith, I know I need that puppy. And I love Mississippi. And they'll they will they'll get along fine. Um, Jackie Park, what are your views on Atlas? Is I think it's a comment. I've heard all sorts of things. I'm open, I don't know. It's not something that I've watched. I'm trying to do news coverage that's pretty intense of late. That like doing this, like what is frequency doing, and did the ancients know about it, and trying to get us up to speed, like with what did the ancients know, and are we are the powers that be just following um, the secrets that have been passed down for centuries rather than looking up and speculating on something because I'm not up there in space and I don't have my own like spacecraft, or I don't even have a telescope. I do have a microscope, but not a telescope. So the copy gal, um, yeah, yeah. Be careful if any of you are contemplating knee surgery. Um, just uh, just know that there's no guarantees anymore. Doctors kind of do what they want. There's no, unless you're very wealthy, there's no legal recourse. And basically, I'll be honest, both my legs went numb, and lots of pain in the one knee, or from my hip down in the surgical knee, but then my other leg went numb too, so I couldn't feel either one of my legs. The other one I did, it's coming back with supplements, but this other, the surgical knee, is just like I said, I'm thankful that I know the Lord. I'm thankful that I am disciplined and I do take that first step every day. Not that I want to, but the dogs will help. I can tell you, because they they want their breakfast and Mississippi wants out and all of that. So six, so it's been 6 months, but um, I would just I wouldn't do two, because if it went sideways like mine did, then you might, at least, even though the one leg was numb, the good leg that wasn't didn't have the surgery. Um, I mean, really, it's between you and your doctor, and I could get in trouble for even talking about this. So we probably better just cut it. I'm sorry. I don't want to get a strike on my very first live stream back. Um, let's see. Can you No, Celtic Dragon. I wish I could. Um, it's going to be about the same time. Let's see. Oh, you got a pound puppy, Edith. Oh, if I didn't need a particular dog with particular qualifications, I would consider that. But I need a particular dog. Um, yes, I stressed managed. I'm sorry that you're going through this. Copper, if try copper. I don't know if you have, but copper mesh is good. That's what they were playing with when they were developing the protocol for Havana syndrome. Bullhail, yes. We can't do it today, um, but I did just do. I don't know. Did I do a live stream? It might be on my channel. I can't remember. I did a seed thing. So all of my favorite seeds, except for my very favorite tomato seeds. So you might look for it here. If it's not here, it'll be at Celestial Report. And I just went through my favorite seeds, and I told you a little bit about them, why I loved them, what were my favorites, all that type of stuff. Oh, Barry Bear. I know I'm watching this stuff in the UK and it breaks my heart. You're like a little bit ahead of us in some things, but my prayers are with you and we're all in this together. I mean, I guess there's some comfort in that. Thank you for your prayers, everybody. Puppy love. Let's see. What supplements have helped you after your knee surgery? If you join my community at Celestial Report, I did do, I went through the whole thing. It is amazing what they can do. Absolutely amazing what certain supplements can do, but you have to know the right ones. And it's something, not something I can talk about on this channel, but I did do it. It is recorded and it is there on demand anytime you want to see it, and how I managed to, you know, regain what I've regained, which was a lot, believe me, from where I started. So let's see. I can't talk, really shouldn't talk about much in the medical or supplement here. We have to be respectful of the community standards here. Thank you, stress manage. Yeah, I'll keep you in my prayers. Okay, thoughts on AI scraping and whether we should be uploading content. I'm an artist and oh my gosh, orbiting fly. Just look at just look at my pose for the last week. So here's the deal. So the big sunspots started turning in to the and with this I'm after this I'm going to have to go. Yes, celestialreport.com is my website. But so I took a picture and I wanted Cindy to my admin to make a thumbnail so I could put it up, and because most places need a thumbnail. And she goes, "Did you put that on a couch?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" And so she sent me the picture. Oh, I don't have my phone down here, or I could show you. And so then we did it again, and this time the sun and the sunspot was on a piece of wood, and it was all elongated and warped and all this kind of stuff. And so then I said, well, let me try an older picture that I have. And the same thing happened. And so what we discovered, I went on a hunt. And if you want to know the end of the hunt, yes, we are at the point now that AI can get in and manipulate all your videos and make it look like generative AI. I mean, one of the sunspots had Chinese letters in it and some sort of it looked like an AI thing. But that wasn't what I was sending I was sending a picture of a JPEG of the sun and the sunspot. It was weird. And then I went on this rabbit trail and found out that basically AI can get into our computers and change everything, like even videos, everything. So be on the lookout. If you, like I said, it's Celeste Solum official. Let's see, what is it? Celeste Solum official channel on Telegram. And I give you the whole thing. I show you the pictures. I tell you what I found, the whole 10 yards. And then I'll tell you the other story. So I was getting very concerned about generative AI. So there was a place called Generative AI or Generating Worlds. Don't go there. Don't go there. This is my experience, though. Um, so it looked like a room with a picture, a frame picture, and then you push the button, and then it takes you, and it's like a 3D, like if you were a real estate agent and you were going through the house, and then you went out to the garden. except that it was AI. All of a sudden, next thing you know, you're at the ocean, you're at the desert. Next thing you know, up on the screen, it says, um, it's asking to access all of the sensors on my computer, all of them. Like every picture, every message, every kilobyte, everything on your computer. Maybe you have health information, every single sensor on your computer. So I pushed no, but I've got to say that in the experience when it was taking me around, I felt, and I am a believer, I felt like I was being drawn into that world, like physically, like almost like a magnet. Like if you were to take a magnet, you know how they work. And when I pushed no, it literally threw me back. Literally, it stopped, and it I physically was thrown back out. And this was I didn't. This was not with Oculus glasses. This was not virtual reality. This was just me on my laptop. So be very careful with it. And like I am starting to cover, I did a long time ago about how addictive like virtual reality was, but that was quite the experience. And uh, be careful where you tread these days. So I think I am going to call it a day. It's been over an hour, and it's good to see you. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for the people that, left messages. Where are you? I was just really going through a tough time. And then I had to get my house in order and get ready for the holidays and the harvest and all of that. And like Peg Leg Pete. So it's good to be here, and we will see each other more frequently. And God bless each of you and your families. And we will see you the next time. And I hope you do visit me on celestialreport.com or my Telegram channel, Celeste Solum official channel, where I keep a running narrative, usually just about every morning. So we will see you the next time. We'll see you next week. God bless you. Bye.